This video is about the development of Charles Darwin's theory of natural selection. Charles Darwin came up with the idea that a species would change over time according to their surroundings. His work was eventually published in 1859 as a book on the origin of species. At the beginning of the 19th century, many scientists believe in a literal creation of all the species on Earth by God, and that these species could not change or evolve. Charles Darwin's view challenged this. In 1835, he visited the Galapagos Islands and noticed that the mockingbirds were different depending on which island they lived. He wondered if a species would change if it was moved into a different area. He collected birds and brought them back to London to develop his idea. In 1838, he read an economy essay by Thomas Malthus, which argued that if there were too many people, then they'd struggle for food and die. It gave Darwin the idea that the more an organism overproduces offspring, that only the best ones survived because they were suited to their environment and they were able to reproduce and pass on their characteristics. He spent 20 years working on this idea, and in 1858 he received a letter from Alfred Russel Wallace, who had been studying organisms in Indonesia, who had also read Malthus's idea and agreed with Darwin. A year later, Darwin published his book. Darwin is better known than Wallace due to the book, and it was a bestseller, but it took time to be accepted due to the lack of evidence. Remember, genetic and fossil evidence were discovered much later. Darwin's book eventually made biologists think about how and why organisms changed, rather than just observing them, and led to the development of molecular biology and genetics.